My father was an imam in San Diego during the 1980s and a life coach whose work was focused on developing the human potential in others. He was born on a farm in Marshall, Texas, on August 26, 1943, and was the oldest of 6 children. His family would later relocate to Oakland, California when my dad was a child. In 1969, he joined the Nation of Islam in Oakland and served as one of their division's top Mohammed Speaks newspaper salesmen. During this volatile socio-political time, he was deceived by a corrupt Nation of Islam minister in Oakland, which eventually led him to be imprisoned in the year of 1970 at the Soledad Correctional Facility. If you guys want to recount this story, you can just listen to my father's June 2nd, first Sunday address. He goes over all this in much more detail than I'm going to go into. Mosque.com. So, despite my father's initial ignorance and misdeeds, he took full responsibility for his actions and would be later released from prison early due to his good behavior. He was released in 5 years, but had a 5 to life sentence, but he was released in 5. His charges were later pardoned by the state of California. While my father was in prison, he was selected by the inmates to serve as their Nation of Islam minister. There, he became successful in building positive relationships between both the prison administration and the prison inmates. Once released, my father found employment with Project JOVE, which was an organization that sought employment opportunities for ex-offenders. It was around this time that my father was introduced to the teachings of Imam Mohammed. According to my father, these teachings gave him a very crisp perception of himself and the world, of human nature, human destiny, and inspired him to teach others what he was learning from Imam Mohammed. This inspiration seemed to stay with him throughout his life. With Project JOVE, he began his work as a counselor and mentor for inmates. He would later leave that organization in the late 1970s to become one of the first Muslim chaplains in the California correctional system, with a focus on death row inmates. So after my father left prison, he came back to work in the same prison. This was something that I don't think the prison officials had seen before, and his work was essentially, a lot of people kind of caught notice of what he was doing. As a prison chaplain, my father established an educational program where inmates could learn how to read, write resumes, learn interview skills, and learn about al-Islam. He established regular Jummah prayer services, helped to raise awareness of Islamic diet practices, and established the practice of Eid al-Fitr within both the women's and men's correctional facilities. Peers of my father have said that his good works in the prison system helped open the doorway for other imams to also work in the prisons. His work also caught the attention of many civic leaders and celebrities who would sometimes visit the facilities to speak with inmates. While he continued to work in the prisons, in 1983, my father was selected by the Ummah of San Diego, California, to become their imam at what was then called Muhammad Temple No. 8. In that same year, he invited Imam Mohammed to Temple No. 8 and asked him to rename it. Imam Mohammed came and renamed it Masjid al-Taqwa, which means God consciousness. My father served in this position for a little over two years before stepping down as the imam of the masjid. Now I'm fast forwarding. In the mid-1990s, my father began a consulting business in Germany, where he advised business leaders all over Europe in a variety of industries and across a range of organizational behavioral aspects up until his passing in December 2014. Some of the aspects he consulted on included corporate social responsibility, conflict moderation, diversity management, change management, personal and family coaching, and management coaching. Some of his clients included Airbus, Hermes, Deen Yogurt, Deep Blue Advertising, and Deutsche Bank. My father rarely ever be found without a book of the Imams near him. His work relied almost solely and very heavily on Imam Muhammad's logic in both the one-on-one sessions that he would have with his clients and in the group seminars that he would do at these different companies. He was seen as a one-of-a-kind consultant by them and often helped them in both their business and personal lives. The teachings he brought were widely accepted across people. The teachings he brought were widely accepted by people across the organizational chart, from secretaries to CEOs. So my father was doing work. He wasn't just working with managers. He was working with everybody in the organization on different things that were going on in their lives, different things that were going on in the organization, and he would just try to help their companies work better and to build a sense of community across different companies. And he did this really. He read a lot of books, but I'll tell you, almost 90% of what he was teaching, straight from Imam Muhammad. Straight from him. While my father was able to make money and support a family with a business based on the logic of Imam Muhammad for 20 years, if nothing else, my father's life should be seen as a testament that the logic of al-Islam, as taught by Imam Muhammad, can stand up anywhere in the world. That's right.
We're going to give Brother Karim Akbar this Pioneer Award. We're going to read it. And this young man, he is one of our youth. Akbar. Tell me what you do, brother.
Just work as a consultant.
Oh no, with a big time corporation. Was it an international corporation?
Yeah, I can say that.
Yes. This young man. Okay, Allah Akbar. What we're going to do is we're going to present this award to your father, give it to you, and it says, with Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Pioneer Award, presented to Karim Akbar, in recognition of your outstanding services, faithfulness, dedication, and loyalty. Savior's Day 2015. Heritage of a New People, the Mosque, Minister of Imam Deen Mohammed, Deen Mohammed II, President, this February 21st, 2015. Last year, at this time, I was at the desk, and I was signing in, and I saw his father there, and we shook hands. I said, where you from? He said, I'm from Germany. He said, I came all the way from Germany to come to the Mosque sponsored Savior's Day. He said, he had to be here. Then when he did, he brought his whole family, to the first Sunday, and he did a first Sunday presentation. His family from out of California, from Germany and so forth, he brought them here, and when he came, he did his lecture. He mentioned how he was teaching the positive thought out there. He had a big old suitcase. They was talking to Fortune 500 people all over the world. Some knew Imam Muhammad, some heard of him. But once he got done, he pulled out all his working tools that he used to talk to these Fortune 500 people. And it was the publication of Imam Deen Mohammed. He took them out one at a time. And then we came to the convention, and we're here today. I mean, this is a dynamic family. And thank you again for representing your father, brother. I'm sure Deen Mohammed II might have some comments if you want to.
No, I don't have any comments. I just wanted to sidebar with him when he get a chance. Okay.
All righty. We got the floor, right?
His father has a beautiful, magnificent human story of the journey of the human soul of the African American people. And his story is so similar to many of our stories that it's almost in the microcosm, the history of young men that joined the Nation of Islam and followers of Imam Muhammad, the journey that they took from the first resurrection to the leadership of Imam Muhammad. It's a very, very touching, heartfelt story, and we have it documented in his own words.
Yes, sir.
He came to the mosque and he just blew us away with his sincerity and his clarity of thought, and to see his life journey. It's an amazing story. And we're honored to have that
Dr. Deen, come up, Dr. Deen Mohammed.
It is with pleasure that I read the bio of a friend of mine. Sister Rosa Shareef received a model from her mom that said, "Nothing beats a failure but a try." And that kind of sums up this sister. Rosa spent her life helping others, and she tried her best to do what she could to help. And in reading her bio, it goes like this. As the former president of the Marion County Self-Help Organization, Rosa is now the manager of the group and using limited resources to help farmers accomplish the tasks they accomplish. Over the years, Rosa and her husband, Alvin Shareef, have raised St. Croix sheep, meat, pastured poultry, meat, birds, egg layers, turkeys, and organic vegetables. Rosa has given numerous lectures and hands-on demonstrations on raising pastured poultry for limited resource farmers. Her early life in the Muslim community actually started here in Chicago. During those years, she was a pillar of our community. She gave birth to 2 children that lived with her here, and she worked with our Muslim community on various programs. She was a part of the New World Patriotism Day Parade Committee. She helped with the Parade Committee, and she actually helped with some of the Islamic classes at one of the Southside masjids. She developed very strong friendships and relationships with the believers here in the Chicagoland area. And while she was here in Chicago, she spent a lot of time in Ohio, where she was helping her sister, who was facing an illness that was debilitating and needed Rosa's assistance. So not only did she spend time here, she also would travel to Ohio a lot to be with her sister Janice. Over a period of time, Rosa's circumstances changed, and she saw it necessary to move south, and she moved to Mississippi. She was actually born in New Jersey, and she never imagined herself living in southern Mississippi. And she wound up moving to our Muslim community in New Medina, wearing the numerous hats that she wore. You would see Rosa operating farm tractors. You would see her doing things that many women would not do. Rosa did not see her gender as a barrier. She did not see anything as a barrier. With the law in front of her, she tackled many, many challenges. There were organizations that she was a part of, including people in the community helping, Pitch. She was an advisor of a program, Rethinking Excellence for the Advancement of Developing Youth. The acronym is READY. She spent over 22 years as a columnist with the Hattiesburg American newspaper as a freelance writer, and this paper was local and also shared around the world. Rosa also participated in diversity training sessions in the community and at the University of Southern Mississippi. Rosa is also was also an instructor at the Pearl River Community College Computer Lab in Columbia, Mississippi. For over 4 years, Rosa served as a federal grant reviewer. One of Rosa's greatest joys was working with young people and empowering them to be positive contributors to society. Under Rosa's tutelage, the READY program has performed several thought-provoking plays and traveled throughout Mississippi and Alabama. They have an annual summer day camp program that has given youth positive activities during long, hot summer months, keeping them focused while in their rural community. With Rosa's assistance, the youth established the Ready Snack Shack, a mobile food vending unit which organized youth to take to local events and earn money for themselves. Their business has developed into a car wash, enabling male members to earn money washing automobiles. Rosa had a motto. Not only did she receive wonderful things from her mom and others around her, she also imparted so many things. And one of her mottos was, if it can't be done, we'll do it. And that was her attitude. And I remember sitting in her home when she lived here in Chicago. She had refurbished her kitchen. She moved into a home that was boarded up, I believe, when she first saw it. And she refurbished it. She brought it back to its splendor. And at that time, you know, most of us were struggling financially, but most of us still are struggling financially, but she decided not to let her financial hurdles stop her. So in refurbishing her kitchen, she put a finish on those cabinets and made those cabinets look like they were natural wood. And when I saw them and she's talking about the struggles that she had gone through to do it, I was like, I can do that too. And over time, I was able to do that. And alhamdulillah, anybody that sees my kitchen now, you'll see the artwork that Rosa showed in my kitchen. So her legacy, alhamdulillah, has affected so many of us. And like the focus of our theme this year was Savior's Day 2015, looking at the heritage that's there. She has left a legacy. She is one of our pioneers. And it's with honor that I bring to the stage her husband, Imam Shareef of New Medina, Mississippi, and her sister-in-law, Sister Donna Ali of New Medina, Mississippi. Donna is extremely shy. I wouldn't even begin to read her bio. And this award reads, in Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer. Pioneer Award presented to Rosa Shareef in recognition of her outstanding services, faithfulness, dedication, and loyalty. Savior's Day 2015, Heritage of a New People, the Mosque Cares, Ministry of Imam Deen Mohammed, Mohammed, second president, February 21st of 2015. Okay, please.
Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasul Karim. I just want to take a second to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this award for Rosa, and to thank Mosque Cares and his leadership, Imam Deen Mohammed II, and we pray Allah's success for the organization. And I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for blessing me to be married to Rosa for the number of years that we were married. And I'm thankful because Rosa demonstrated how someone can use the gifts that God gave him. And God gave her a lot of gifts, and she used them well. And one of them was to help me a little bit. So.
Assalamu alaikum. I just want to thank everyone for their continued support of New Medina. Sister Rosa was truly a pillar in our community, and you all have been to our retreats that we have every year in May. You know, she is
miss New Medina. And, you know, I look forward to all of you joining us and keeping up the spirit of work. And she, you know, everyone who's been there know how to spell New Medina, and it's W-O-R-K. And she coined that. And as a matter of fact, she has given this year's theme. Before her passing this past November, she had submitted a theme for our retreat this year. It's uplifting the human spirit. And that's what I feel tonight. Thank you so much.
Just a quick comment. I first really met Sister Rosa when she was calling in on the publication team. And we know that Mohammed wrote the book As the Light Shines Through the East. Well, after Imam passed, we did not have a digital copy. That means put it into book form. Sister Rosa did that. So when you see that book out there, As the Light Shining Through the East, where the WM publication is selling that, it's because she was able to reproduce it so that we could sell it.
That's right.
And the reason we already heard that she was a huge spirit. A lot of really left her with the community, and she really supported the ministry. Okay, we get ready to get one more award, and then we'll close out. Brother Shareef, would you come up?
We're going to read from the obituary of our late great brother Arthur B. Hearn. Arthur B. Hearn, along with his twin brother Willie, was born March 14, 1926, to Charlie and Mary Hearn in Earl, Arkansas. He moved to Alton, Illinois at an early age, where he worked at Lockheed Steel for a short time. He would go on to be trained as a barber. After relocating to Chicago, Illinois, and acquiring his barber's license, he went into business for himself. He successfully owned and operated his own shop for years and was still engaged as a barber at the time of his death. As a young man, he accepted Islam and remained in the community of Islam until his death. He departed this life on September 28, 2014 at 5:50 p.m. Prior to taking his final breath on this early plane, he brought his hands to his ears, palms forward, then placed his right hand over his left just below his navel, as if putting our world behind him and saying, Allahu Akbar, God is greater. Ahmed was a wise, loving, and generous spirit. As the patriot of his family and a pioneer in the Islamic community, he leaves his daughters, Nancy and Rochelle. He was affectionately called Daddy to many others who also loved him dearly. He is survived by his brothers, Ernest and Major, his sister Idella, a host of grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces, great-nieces, nephews, great-nephews, and friends that will continue his legacy. He was preceded in death by his parents, his siblings, Arlene, Willie, John Henry, Rosella, Bastia, and Aaron. At this point, we would like to present the award for the Arthur Hearn.
I'm going to read the award, and Shareef, he's going to accept it for us. We're going to give it to the family. With Allah's name, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, Pioneer Award presented to Arthur Hearn in recognition of your outstanding services, faithfulness, dedication, and loyalty. Savior's Day 2015, Heritage of the New People. Mosque Ministry of Imam W.D. Mohammed. W.D. Mohammed II, President, this February 21st, 2015. And Brother Shareef, if you'd like to make any comments. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, this brother was a giant brother.
I often hope that he would have lived to be 100 plus. He brought a lot to my life as an individual. He was always willing to give. If ever I came to him to say we were trying to raise money for any cause, he would match anything that I would give. He had a heart as big as his head, and he would be sorely missed. And may God forgive him of any faults that he had and grant him paradise. And he should try to do